there, Sagittarius. Welcome back to Wild Lotus Tarot. This is going to be your weekly intuitive reading for September 14th through to the 20th. Saggy, let's see what is literally on the cards for you. Starting with the Work Your Light Oracle from Rebecca Campbell, illustrated by Danielle Knoll. To see what the overarching message or theme is for you this week. For Saggy, stop. Break the chain. Ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. So what is a pattern that potentially you have inherited from your parents, a limiting belief, a way of thinking that you need to let go of, Saggy? And you know, sometimes it's even through past life chains. It can be through our parents. It can be through a string of relationships as well, that we have kind of picked up a belief that it always goes like this. Well, not necessarily, because you can change energetic conditions by shifting things within yourself, Saggy. So this card is saying that there could be a pattern that is holding you back in some way, or having you re-experience the same kind of, you know, relationships or situations or run-ins that needs to be looked at. So let's see where this is going, Saggy. Pulling you a Yogic Path card now. That one wants to jump out. Svadhyaya. Gosh, I really do struggle with these cards, guys. Do bear with me. So Svadhyaya, guys, is really the energy of self-study. And it says that we were all born with a book of infinite wisdom, stories and inventions and emotions. And this book is our consciousness. And it says that if we take the path to truly studying the self, we will never be bored with our findings. So it's about focusing inwards, really getting to know the nature of your own mind, and understanding that through the stillness, you know, that's when you access your internal wisdom. And then you can really see these patterns and cycles that you may need to break, because often it's happening through the subconscious and we're not aware of it. So Svadhyaya is really asking you to have deeper awareness of the patterns of the mind through self-study, or, you know, going within like the hermit. Oh, we've got the 10 of Cups in the recent past. Let's get the energy of the current or focus for the week. 2 of Cups, okay. Lots of emotional energy here with the Cups. I've got a card that's flipped over. Right, okay, here comes the mind energy, the 9 of Swords, and I have the Judgment energy at the bottom of the deck. Let's see what the clarifiers are. So we want to study the mind, self-study to bring awareness, but not get caught up in it. That's what I'm really seeing there with the 9 of Swords. Let's get the 10 of Cups clarifier in the recent past. Energies leaving, completing, transitioning. Just while I'm doing this, guys, I meant to say just before, do check out my good friend tarot channel Indigo Starseed Tarot. She's a very authentic reader if you want somebody who is the real deal, you know, real spiritual messages, not just here for collecting views and subscribers. So Indigo Tarot Starseed. I have got the Ace of Crystals clarifying the 10 of Cups. Well, that's looking like a lot of new opportunity to potentially build happiness, harmony, or to make solid that sense of home, relationship, security in your life. I have got the 6 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles or crystals with the 2 of Cups. Yeah, so there could be, I'm feeling there's a judgment on a relationship here though, guys, in order maybe for you to really seek that happy ever after that you require. I generally try and keep these readings pretty general, but sometimes it just falls in one direction. I've got the King of Pentacles here, and I'm going to grab one more for the King of Pentacles. There it goes. Yeah, the Hierophant. Was expecting to see that. Finishing with the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Okay, Saggy, so I'm going to call it that we're dealing with a partnership here. Judgment on a partnership here. Look, it doesn't have to be limited to romantic love. It can be a friendship. It can be, a business partnership or something like that. But for most of you, it will be in your romantic relationships. So we're dealing with some kind of cycle here, and I feel like you're bringing a final judgment to a cycle in this partnership that has caused you some kind of stress or tension. And I really feel this is the week that we get the breakthrough with that Ace of Swords as to maybe the subconscious pattern, or what that trigger really is, so that we can resolve it. Because this is the recent past situation. We've got the Ace of Pentacles, we've got the Ten of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. So what I'm really seeing here is this is either the where you're really hoping to head, or the fact that in the recent past we had a really happy situation here. However, there's come a time where you are questioning with that judgment energy whether it's really time to move on from this or not, because we've got the Six of Swords as well with the partnership energy. We've got the Hierophant, we've got the Nine of Swords. So I kind of feel like this is where you're coming from. You thought it was happy ever after in a situation, maybe in a long-term business partnership, maybe in a long-term relationship. You're really hoping to take that to the next level of commitment with the Ace of Pentacles. You wanted it to be stable and secure, but there's a sense here with the Ace of Swords that maybe there is an insight landing this week, some kind of breakthrough, or it could be a truth revealed or a moment of clarity where there's kind of a sense of, this isn't it. I'm just repeating a cycle of the past, and I need to decide what I'm doing here. And there is the potential for transitional energy away from this situation. Okay, guys, because let's bring in the Judgment now as well. Judgment really is the energy of assessing whether you want to stay in a situation or move on from it. And that's what I'm feeling is going down this week, even though we have these kind of new beginning cards. Judgment is the major arcana that comes before the World, and the World is the big card of karmic cyclic completion. And with the Six of Swords in the reading, it's like, well, we're either making the decision to stay or go in this situation, right? For some of you, you might be attempting to come together with somebody who lives at a distance from you, and that is a real challenge, and you are kind of making that final decision. Do I keep going with the situation, or do I remove myself from it? But there has been a lot of potential in this situation, but there is some challenges, I think some limiting challenges that have kept you kind of stuck in some way, because in the Judgment energy we see these people coming out of these dark places. So it could have been that you started seeing somebody, and so I probably shouldn't say that word in this video. Guys, I'm just going to edit out the word for the situation that's currently facing in the world, in case my video gets taken down. So you know what I mean. You might have started seeing someone, and then the thing that we're going through at the moment hit, and we're limited because of that. We feel stuck and we can't move forward. So that's what I'm seeing. It's time for judgment on the situation. What are we going to do? Is there any second chances? Are we moving on? Are we completing? And for some of you, it won't be a situation of someone you've just started seeing. It could be quite a long-term situation. But that's what I'm seeing there, Saggy. You really were hoping for the happy ever after in this situation, but there are challenges here. So in the current focus energy, we've got the Two of Cups. So I can see that you are dealing with somebody who, you have this really sense of partnership or soulmate energy. And soulmates don't just have to be our romantic partners. Soulmates can be, business partners that we have that real creative chemistry with, that are in our soul path for a reason, that are part of our soul family. So I can see that energy there, with the Two of Cups. But here we also have the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords really is about transitioning away from a situation, making a necessary rite of passage. But for some of you, this can indicate living across the land or across the water from somebody as well. But what we see here is making some kind of change in the situation to head into the unknown. So, for some of you, that could be giving the connection a go. And even though you're not too sure where it's going to end up, but for others of you, it's going to be going from the connection to a sense of being solo and moving on, right? We've got 3 swords on each side, so this could, this could hurt you both, but you've got a feeling that I just need to maybe go it alone and put down some roots somewhere else. That's what I'm feeling. The Knight of Pentacles is an energy of refocusing your energy, having patience, and, putting a plan in place for, really cultivating what you do want in partnership, but it just might not be in the one that we see here. So just reading the energy of the cards, guys. I don't like it when I say, oh, you're going to be moving on from partnership, but that's what I see here. But it's kind of moving on in order to grow something somewhere else. It's going to be more in alignment with you. So sometimes we have to go through, the endings to get to the new beginnings. So Saggy, in the outcome energy, we've got the Hierophant, the Nine of Swords, and the King of Pentacles. Some of you could be definitely dealing with an earth sign because we've got the Knight of Pentacles, we've got the King of Pentacles, so that would be Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo. But here we can see, we can see the stress here, we can see the stress of when you were in the darker place, the feeling limited, feeling restricted, maybe not being able to see this person or feeling confined in this connection. And it's really time to transmute that, because that is the energy of when the mind gets the better of us and the sword starts stacking up and feeling like we're stuck in the thoughts, right? And that's when the mind starts owning us. And you're being asked this week to find the clarity within your mind, to have the breakthrough, which I think is coming. And you know what 1 sword plus 9 swords equals here, Saggy? 10 swords. So that is the completion, that is the ending. The 10 of cups, even though it's like a 10 and it's the best of the cups, it can also indicate a completion of some sort, because we have the Hierophant here, and the Hierophant's number 5 in the major arcana. So this is the turning point between 1 and 10, where you're being asked to make a fundamental change, which is going to impact the course of action in the situation. The Hierophant stands for the institutionalized settings of our lives. So that's our marriage, committed relationships, work or study. And that's why I think this partnership is in one of those areas. But the Hierophant really talks about values. And with that break the chain oracle card, it's really coming back to that. So for example, generally for the first part of our life, we take on the values that have been inherited through the ancestral line from our families, maybe from a few relationships as well, and we live by those. But there comes a point where we become our own person with our own values. We really know who we are, and then things start to not fit anymore, and we want to live in alignment with that. Some people call it a midlife crisis, but it can happen at any age. It's basically an awakening to truth, awakening to self, and I think that might be what you're going through here, Saggy. So when you go through an awakening of self, there is that judgment of releasing what doesn't fit anymore, because if we stay in it, then it starts to cause us stress. Why doesn't it fit? Have I changed? Has that person changed? What's going on here? So the Hierophant challenges you to make a change in order to align with your own truth. And that is kind of the breaking the cycle. You are rewriting your future by that, because you're saying, I'm going to live with my values, not with that of another. And, the King of Pentacles here, what I really notice about this particular card is the light at the heart. It's like, when you make the decision to live by your own values, you live by heart, not head. And that's when you really start to find your way in life, right? The King of Pentacles is a real energy of abundance and commitment, and in terms of business as well, it's really positive energy of entrepreneurship and having success, having all the resources. So what it says to me is that success and abundance and achievement and commitment, all those things come after you find your own truth and start living in alignment with that, and stop beating yourself up and, getting in your head when things don't align anymore, just releasing that. And that is the spell that breaks the cycle, guys. Interesting reading there, Saggy. That's what I see coming back to heart this week. So keep in mind it's a general reading for the collective, guys. It won't be everyone's journey this week, and that's absolutely okay. If you're called to share, please do leave me a comment. I do read them all and try to respond to as many as I can. Helps me get to know you and connect with your energies, and I will see you back here next week for another reading.